Say the word Tuscany, and many people have a mental image that pops up before they even really understand what Tuscany is referring to. It's an image of rolling hills, cypress trees, and a glass of red wine. Honestly, that image allows the adjective Tuscan to sell about everything from wine to olive oil to vacations. But the real question remains whether that's just a beautiful marketing story or there's some truth behind the imagery. Hi there, I'm Jacqueline for Vero, where we go around the world searching out wild and scarce wines, olive oils, and foods to import to the US for wine lovers, foodies, businesses, and distributors alike to discover and enjoy along with us. And Tuscany is one of those places where the reputation is earned, because behind the famous name is a real diversity of landscapes, grapes, foods, and producers that make the region so much more than just a wish you were here postcard. Tuscany's reputation holds up because it isn't really just one place. It's dozens of micro worlds and different places that each have their own soil, climate, grapes, foods, and traditions. That's why the word carries so much weight in Italy. It points to beauty, yes, but it also points to craftsmanship and a deep connection between land and table and glass. And this is why we find Tuscany so compelling. But the best way to really understand it isn't just by looking at the landscape, but by instead looking how this particular region shows up in what the people grow, make, pour, and eat. Tuscan food is part of why the region's reputation is so durable, and this is because the dishes themselves are built around balance, simplicity, and the place. We're thinking like salumi or salamis, pecorino cheeses, rustic pastas, slow-cooked braised meats, rustic and flavorful soups, and the kind of high-quality extra virgin olive oil that makes a cuisine memorable. What makes this so interesting is how naturally these foods open the door to different styles of Tuscan wines. Some dishes call for lighter, fresher reds. Others will need something more structured and serious, and yet others are perfect paired with a white or an orange wine. And really, Tuscan wine offers all of this. And that's the point. The table shows that Tuscany isn't a single flavor profile. It's a whole set of traditions, and each one will point back to a specific place, a specific producer, and a specific way of farming. Now, if this information seems familiar, it might be because you have not read the accompanying blog that is linked below. However, if you haven't seen that article, it might mean you are not subscribed to the Vero newsletter. I have that sign up link down below in the subscription for you to sign up and join the Vero community. A subscription to our free newsletter means that you will be the first to know when we publish new articles, new content, new products, and just news in general. So be sure to head over to verovino.com to sign up and not miss another article release. But now, let's get back to the video. For our first example of a true Tuscan culture, we can look at Montalcino. This is one of the clearest places to see how Tuscany's identity is tied to a very specific place. Look at the winery Canalino, for example, which sits just outside the historic center of Montalcino, and where you can walk from the town fortress down to the Canalino vineyards. That closeness of the town, the land, and the vineyards is all part of the story. Here, the focus is Sangiovese, both for Canalino and also for the area around Montalcino itself. But you see, Sangiovese isn't just one thing. You will see it in a bunch of different expressions. There will be lighter, more immediate wines like a Rosso di Toscana or a Rosso di Montalcino, or wines with more structure like a Brunello di Montalcino, that kind of serious wine that has some age and some potential behind it. And that range is exactly what makes Montalcino so compelling. It reminds you that Tuscany's fame isn't built around a single bottle or a single style, but rather it's built on the way a place can shape the same grape into different and distinct voices based on what the local table needs. Now, let's move to the other side of Tuscany and let's look at Maremma, where you're going to get a completely different feel. The landscape is wilder, more open, and more untamed, and it's that sense of place that is exactly what captures La Maliosa Farm and Winery's philosophy. Here, the wines will show a different Tuscany. These are natural wines, minimal interventions, sustainably minded, and terroir-driven. They range from orange wines made with a traditional skin contact, with reds that reflect the land in their own way, and also with high-quality extra virgin olive oils that are every bit as important to the story as the wine. And it's another reminder that Tuscany is not one note or one thing. It's a whole range of voices, each rooted in a specific place and a specific way of working. What makes La Maliosa and founder Antonella Manulli especially interesting is that It really broadens the idea of what Tuscan means. Here we see that the region's identity includes tradition, but it also includes individuality, biodiversity, and a very direct relationship between farming, flavor, and the landscape. We see the broadness of Tuscany really represented here, in the wide range of offerings from wines to olive oils, restaurants, cafes, and the star boxes of La Maliosa that let you sleep in the vineyard. It's a way to experience Tuscany in its fullest and most complete expression. And that is the magic of Tuscany, after all. It's famous internationally for a reason. That fame really becomes obvious when we look closely at the people, at the land, and at the way they turn wine, olive oil, and food into things with true character. And why places like Montalcino and Maremma matter, because they just don't fit into the Tuscan story, they actually prove it. So if you are ready to explore these authentic Tuscan wines and Tuscan olive oils for yourself, head over to the Vero shop on verovino.com, linked below. There you can find their small production products and so many other things from small producers, all ready for shipping to your door within the US. And if you're a business, feel free to write and reach out to us for some wholesale pricing. Of course, if you do want to go a little bit deeper and you want to check out the blog linked below for more background, more context, and more ways to understand what makes Tuscany so compelling outside of the postcard. So thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like below. To see more content for Vero, you need to be sure to subscribe both here on YouTube and to the Vero newsletter on verovino.com to stay up to date with the latest and greatest from Vero. I'm going to be leaving you with these videos here to keep exploring more about Tuscany and its wines and olive oils. See you in one of those videos. Bye!